Hi, this is Paul Hansi again. I'd like to talk a little bit about how our use of knowledge intersects with our support processes. You'll see knowledge articles in ServiceNow used heavily throughout many different parts of this model. We use it as part of the incident management process when we are using incident models at the beginning of the process, and our subject matter experts use knowledge to help resolve more complicated issues that get escalated to their teams at the end of the more complicated troubleshooting tasks. We also use knowledge to handle routine procedures, and non-routine procedures for that matter, in the request fulfillment process or as we do deeper analysis of problems. So let's talk a little bit about the roles in the knowledge management process. Our frontline support folks are heavy users of our knowledge process. Specifically, they use knowledge-based articles in conjunction with our support incident models. Typically, these incident models refer to knowledge content that exists outside the incident model itself, but the incident models are actually a specific kind of knowledge-based article. Frontline support staff often will help our users understand and use our public knowledge articles. Sometimes, despite our best efforts to write public articles for a wide user base, there is still technical information that is difficult for some users to put into best use, and we can help them efficiently by helping them translate or restate concepts that are not clear in the article. As we are working with articles, it is critical that frontline staff provide feedback on the articles. Feedback is a process that helps our knowledge base and the related content in it continue to improve. If a knowledge article doesn't make sense to you, or you have to spend time helping our customers use a knowledge article, those should be triggers that this article could be improved. And think about what sort of feedback you could add to that article to help that improvement happen. It's also important as you are working our frontline support to suggest new articles that currently do not exist. If you're having to create a novel solution on your own, or you are having to struggle with a particular issue, or having to escalate an issue that you think you should be able to handle, those are all triggers that there should probably be a knowledge article that covers that topic you're running into. To request a knowledge article, there is a catalog item in the request catalog that you can use to suggest a specific article be created. As a second-tier support person in our model, you're going to be doing all the same activities as the frontline support folks when it comes to knowledge, plus a number of specific second-tier tasks related to knowledge. One of the most important tasks that a second-tier person needs to do in our knowledge management ecosystem is handle feedback on the articles. As a subject matter expert on a particular service or set of services, second-tier support staff is best positioned to critically evaluate feedback and how the article can respond to feedback so it is received better by support staff when it is next accessed. It is also important for second-tier support staff to recognize the need for new knowledge and take action to create the knowledge and make it available to an appropriate audience. When you're working on a new knowledge article, it is important to keep the audience in mind and use the appropriate language and process for that particular article, be it public or internal. As a second-tier support person, another important responsibility related to our knowledge base is to review and republish articles that expire. Every article in our knowledge base has a published time before it expires and needs to be reviewed. That period of time will vary depending on how static a particular service is or how likely that content will change when it is published. For example, an article for a service that is undergoing a lot of evolution will probably be published with a fairly short expiration date so that we can revisit that content and make sure it is still accurate in a fairly short period of time. However, a service that is very stable and isn't likely to change for quite some time may have an expiration date on articles for as long as a year. Whenever those articles expire, it is important to review and republish them in a timely manner so that our content stays current and accurate. Another thing to consider when working with knowledge content as a second-tier support person is suggesting articles for public access. One of the goals of our effective knowledge use is to have the resolution happen closer to the first point of contact or avoid the contact altogether by enabling users to help themselves. If you're working on something as a second-tier support person and you are seeing the same issue repeatedly, that should be a trigger that a knowledge article could help resolve that at the first line of support. Similarly, if you are seeing something that could be resolved without a contact even coming into the service desk, that would be a great candidate for public knowledge so that our users can help themselves.